There's always a delay at the beginning. I've had some stuff that I thought was actually pretty good, fun or funny or whatever it might be, and then realized that the video didn't start uh, recording or didn't get down until after or partially through it, and it didn't make quite as much sense or wasn't as much fun. So I'll use this as the filler because this is the Maturity Project, and I'm your host, Chad Everett Broshears, or Sir Chad Everett Broshears to some. If you know, you know. And I am geared to grow. So, all right, here's what I want to talk about today and create some clarity too. I know that I do this often, but I think the benefit of doing this is that I can help, really give different insights that can help make, life a bit better, and let's not say better because better is so subjective, right? Can help make life different. And we all, and this is something that we keep hearing it, we hear it all the time. You can have anything you want, you can create whatever you want, and it's all true. It absolutely is true. Here's the thing though, if you don't have the right program downloaded up here, you won't make it there. It's like you're wanting to play lottery, but here's the thing, if you don't have it downloaded here, you don't have that understanding, the insights and the understanding necessary to be that degree of success, whatever you're measuring life by. If you don't have enough up here, what happens is you might win the lottery on it, which is very unlikely, but you might. And if you do, you don't have what it takes to keep it. And what'll happen is you'll get it, you'll have it for however long, and then you'll regret the rest of your life that you lost it. When you think about it, whenever it fits parameters of your current living experience or your living experience at that time, you'll have this, I used to have it like that. This happens to professional athletes often because what happens is they get in, they get more money than their families have probably ever made, and they don't know what to do with it. They don't know how to do things with it. And there's this, with this, especially with professional athletes, there's a parasite class that harmonizes around professional athletes to extract their resources that they're getting that they don't have the value basis necessary to sustain it. And then they, it's the, oh, wow, I've got more money than I've ever known to do with, or wow, I can't believe I have this much money. And the next thing you know, they're consistently losing because people are extracting it out of them. It's human nature to try to acquire resources. Now, it is, there's behavioral issues whenever it comes to extracting resources off another person and then still being able to, feel like you're contributing in life, or that, that you're getting ahead and you're a good person, which is all nonsensical. But, it's not nonsensical. There's a rationale those people harbor. And when you try to understand them, it's very challenging if you don't live in that world of understanding. They got to teach you how to be there. And then it directly have its conflict with your moral boundaries and guidelines of what you live your life by. But here's the thing. What I'm saying, and I kind of digress there, but to give you a little bit more substance to the whole parasite class type thing, because there are those people in this world where the narcissism that they have is turned into a professional level of narcissism. In this example, when I'm talking about professional athletes. So they just don't know how to maintain that thing. And it is by the amount of people that actually get into professional sports, it is closer to a lottery level because it's rare to get in. It's not common. Now, it happens all the time, but to the total population, a very small percentage actually ever make it there. And very small population ever get to the point that they're actually signed and paid, and, they get past the college level. It just takes a lot to get there. And there's very few people that'll make it in this lifetime. Now, but when you look at the whole group of people, it's hard to say that makes sense because you see a large group of people gathered, but you have to go based off the total population. So anyway, so that's what happens with them. They get there, they have that lottery type scenario. It's a win by chance, and then there's some attributes that obviously they have. They have to have a significant degree of attributes in order to become a successful, or just to be successfully put into a professional team. So it's not completely like, hey, I went to the gas station, gave some money, got a piece of paper that had some numbers on it, brought it back and found out that I won. That takes very few attributes. You got to have the money to do it, right? And then it's a chance thing. But most of what happens with them, if you actually look into what happens with lottery winners, they typically become more and more upset, or they have a less value in life, or they don't come across the same level of fulfillment as they actually did prior to winning the lottery, because it shifts their values and how they view things and what becomes important and what's not and all this stuff. And then it's the people around them. Typically, even with really good friendships, those change because there's an abundance of a resource, and in the way that they have the views that they have about life. It's not uncommon for people to try to get them to invest stuff like that. And it's like they're looked at as an opportunity versus a friend. Even though they may still see them as a friend, the opportunity variable is what actually starts poisoning the relationship, or damaging it, or changing the relationship, often towards poisoning it. So you don't want to be looked at as a resource opportunity. Now, we all still have that. The relationships do it. All kinds of things do it. Companies do that when they look to hire somebody. They're looking for the resource that they can get that can help their business move along. In exchange, they pay them for their time and their attention and their loyalty. They try to come up with the right amount of money for that. Now, the better companies look for the loyalty element too, but some of them just expect it because there's a check stroked every pay period. Which is not a good idea, which I do have a book that I'd worked on with my partner that is how to change a paycheck employee into a career-centric employee, which I can go over that at another time. But the point of today's conversation is just to start getting into, hey, you know what, we can really grow here. We can take on opportunities, but you have to understand what that means. So if you don't have it downloaded, if you don't have a perspective that helps build into your foundation, it is going to be very hard to accomplish that. And if you by chance accomplish it, then there's a damn good chance you're not going to hold on to it. You won't have the base level of skill sets necessary to maintain that degree of success, whatever that measurement is. It could be the person that you've always wanted to be with in a relationship. And then you've got everything about who you were up until that point based off the way you dated and all the rest of that stuff. And then it gets to the foundation of who you are, and then it activates something that you didn't know was really a part of you, or you've forgotten, something that you put in the closet about your behavior. Whatever that might be. It might be that you just get too intense, too obsessed with a relationship, or you let yourself go. You quit going to the gym, you quit taking care of yourself, and because the other person, now you put the expectation of taking care of you on them. There's a lot of things that come up. But when that thing shows up, this is why when I talk about the wheel of opportunity, or the wheel of fortune, but the reason why I don't really care much for using that term, because that term exceeds the game show. The wheel of fortune is a term that has been used. It's a qualifier, if you will, a cognitive tool to prepare a mind to think in a certain way. It's a framing tool, if you will. And it turns, man. It just constantly turns. The more you develop yourself, the more opportunities that'll show up on the wheel. You don't need to wait for it to turn 360 degrees before you get your opportunity again. Others show up. You just don't have the downloaded ability, or again, I'm saying downloaded. I'm just trying to use a reference that makes things more understandable. You don't have the insights and the necessary information in order to qualify what's being presented to you. This is something that I love about people that are always looking for opportunity to grow. So, doing the work, right? And I've already shared that it becomes a lonely place, because when you do the work, other people don't. Next thing you know, you'll end up with, specific challenges that really, for all intents and purposes, the challenges that come up can be other people can't recognize it as being a challenge, or other people want the resource of your work to help complete something in their life, and therefore you're an opportunity, not a person, or your opportunity values are exceeding the empathetic connection and intimacy of that. And I'm not just saying intimate relationships, or what I say, like sexual, intimate partnership, relationship type things, because intimacy is not just sexuality or sex. Intimacy is connection. So that's something else for really to benefit others to understand it. So, but you get into these types of situations where you've done the work, other people can't recognize what you've gone through because they can't comprehend it. It's not on their level yet. Now they might be able to comprehend it to a degree, but the full depth of what's necessary to fully give value for what somebody has gone through and true appreciation for it isn't there because they haven't gone through the struggles themselves. No, because it's not just struggle. There's a joy of accomplishing, overcoming a struggle. It's a beautiful joy about that. But you got to work for it, and if you're not taught how to make that a thing, right? If you're not taught how to make it real and how to work through things, you can't really value it the same way. It's just the way that things work. That's why I'm such an advocate. Go do the work, man. Get going on the work. It will only benefit you, but you got to do it. But when you do it, you have to understand not everybody else will. And some of them are just, it's farming, right? You plant some seeds and then you wait. It's like you give people the seeds of awareness and connect that to something important to them in their life and say, hey, you're going through this. This is my experience of it. And this is how you overcome that. You planted the seed. Now it's up to them to actually utilize the opportunity to go into it, to try it, to do it. So yeah, with this that's a benefit, right? You have to learn how to plant those seeds. But you are learning how to plant those seeds when you do the work. So when you do all of this, it can start to get lonely because of the lack of other people doing the same degree of work. I've talked about that before. The other part of it is that people make you into an opportunity for them. And then they combine, emotion, they combine all of the other elements that they actually comprehend the functionalities of life on. And, qualifying something specific to say, hey, we're qualifying that, I'm with you, I care about you, I love you, I do X, Y, and Z for you, because those are things that are combinations of the framework necessary to call something, a relationship, of whatever distinction that relationship is. Mutual understandings or things like that are typical in those types of situations, and there's the desire to be there. But if people don't do the work, it's really hard. So if you let's say you do some of the work and you don't look at all 8 areas of maturity, you may start becoming resentful because what as far as work goes, other people aren't doing it. And you can't value what they have done and see how they can guide you and create their living experiences into a mentorship for you. But that takes something to get there. So, don't look for the lottery opportunities is really the lesson out of this. The better idea and the more beneficial specifically for you is that you do the work to get you there. That's why when people say, hey, Chad, would I ever want to win the lottery? I'm very well known for saying, no, I don't want to win the lottery. Now, here's the thing. If somebody says, hey, or if I have the chance and I win the lottery, fantastic, I win the fucking lottery. But I'm not trying for it. You got to play to win. You got to play to win, and I'm not doing it because I want my fortune in life be built off my efforts of my hard work, the understanding, the download, the material, the understanding necessary to be successful, because that's recreatable, and it will take away the once in a lifetime conversation and make it the powerful conversation that you can do it. You can do it again and again and again. That's why I love personal success stories where people come from nothing and become something. I love those stories. And I get so engaged with them because I want to know 8 areas of their development and how it all contributed to this degree of success. What they started with, who their early authorities were, their parents, and their inspiration, their heroes, who were their heartaches, where was the devastation, where was the challenges. I want to know it all, man. Tell me it all. Because I can start looking for the way that it worked for you in a formula that makes it recreatable. Because there's a great fear that people have the first time they become successful. And by the way, success is not just measured in life by money. Success is measured by so many different variables. There's 8 different areas that I measure success in life on. That's the maturity project. That's what its intention is, to help give you that. So to recap those real quick, you've got the physical body, you've got community, you've got cognitive, which is your learning processes. You have emotion, you've got finance, you've got business, you've got sexuality, and you've got spirituality. All 8 of those areas make up who we are. By the way, spirituality is not religion. Spirituality is directly connected to purpose, but it's a very large conversation piece. That's why I titled it spirituality, because it's how people with great purpose have a spirituality about that purpose. There is a practice that goes into that on a regular basis, that the type of practice you see with religions, the real dedicated people of religion, that's what you see whenever it comes to purpose, the people that are successful. So all 8 areas, I want to know it because I want to be able to, one, better at myself. I look forward to the hardships. I put myself into situations. I take ownership, radical ownership, because I want to know. I want to grow. So it's ugly. It's hard. It's a punch in the gut often, but that's okay. Because the more often you get punched in the gut, the better you can take it first. And secondly, you learn how to start moving in a way that those gut punches don't hit, and you just keep growing. That's me. That's what I'm up to. That's what I'd like to see the world get into. So anyway, all right, that's it for today. Happy Mother's Day for anyone that's joining in. That's a mother. Absolutely appreciate you. Without you, there'd be no us. Well, by the way, that's the exact same thing for fathers. And without them, there'd be no us. So you want to start a real conversation. Let's get to the point where it's actually equal in the whole process of making babies, having children, all of that. It's equal. So if you don't know what that means, or if you're really conflicted by it, congratulations, we have opportunities now. So, all right, that's it for today. Thank you so much for joining in. I really appreciate all of you, and I'm looking forward to the next one. I'm geared to grow. Join me in the process. There's a world to address, but we got to start with ourselves. Don't pave your path to hell because you have good intentions, but you didn't do the work to make sure it worked. So, all right, till next time, I'm your host, Chad Everett Broshears, or Sir Chad Everett Broshears. Some if you know, you know. And until next time, I'm looking forward to this. We'll talk soon. Share this video with people in your life that you feel that you want to break the ice with and start a conversation of meaning. And don't forget to like this video. Put a comment in the comment section if you got something out of this you'd like to share with me or the world or whatever. Then by all means, please put a comment in the comment section. Subscribe to the channel. Every subscription helps, because let's make a movement that works. And until next time, let's get to it. We got a lot to do, but it's all the fun to do it. See ya.